All right, you ready to do some mean tweets?
I'm ready.
Sarah Spain sounds like a nagging wife on TV today.
Not even married yet.
Julie DeCaro is a run-of-the-mill, mediocre beat writer.
Not atrocious, not good.
Just sorta there.
I'm actually not a beat writer at all, but okay.
Sarah Spain is just a scrub muffin?
I don't even know what a scrub
I
muffin
don't
is.
either.
I love muffins.
One of the players should beat you to death with their hockey stick.
Like the whore you are.
I'm just reading this.
Okay.
I mean, okay, this is why we don't hire any females unless we need our sucked or our food cooked.
Sarah Spain is a self-important know-it-all. Okay.
Just read the tweets, man. They're just mean tweets.
This dumb.
There's a lot of C word.
There's a lot of C words,
in
yeah.
here. Yeah. I hope your dog gets hit by a car, you
Hopefully this skank Julie DeCaro is Bill Cosby's next victim. That would be classic.
I don't know what to say to that.
I don't. I don't think I can even say that.
I hope your boyfriend beats you. I'm sorry.
Why bring up your own rape in this story? Is it your way of firing back at critics who said you can't get any?
That's something, huh?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So I have to read all of them, right? Because, I mean,
Read them, I guess.
I hope you get raped again.
Oh.
I'm having trouble looking at you when I'm saying these things. Sarah Spain is a I would hate. Okay.
You need to be hit in the head with a hockey puck and killed. That's it.
Sorry that these were directed toward you.
I am sorry on behalf of other people everywhere that you've had to deal with this.
I feel like I need to apologize to my mother, but to be, that's a whole nother story.
Kara Burnett, Ball State sports editor for the Daily News, is passionate about sports reporting.
Baseball is my thing, definitely my forte. I'm a huge Chicago Cubs fan. I know more than the average person, probably a little more than I should know. But yeah, so baseball would be the ultimate goal, to be able to cover on the sidelines. And then really, every morning I have SportsCenter playing. College basketball and football are my second. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. Along with Cubs games, I attend the most. Notre Dame's probably the second.
Susie Smith, associate professor in the Department of Telecommunications, who has spent 19 years in sports news and even worked for CNN Sports Illustrated, expresses the issues of the industry.
It brings to light a serious issue, an issue that exists in a lot of other avenues and arenas, not just in sports journalism, but certainly is a big thing in sports journalism, specifically because for so many years it was dominated by men. In my time, when I was in high school and college and coming out of college and getting into the industry, there weren't nearly as many women in the field. And I can remember it being a big deal when a woman was finally allowed to go into a locker room and conduct interviews. Because for a long time, they wouldn't allow women to go and do their job and interview the athletes. And they'd say, well, we'll bring them out after. Well, they never did. The athletes would be done. They didn't want to talk anymore. And so it was a big victory when they were able to go in and actually do their jobs. And so there's always been sort of that message of this is not a place for women, when in fact it's a place for whoever wants to be a part of it. I think if I were speaking to women who are coming out of college now, who are interested in going into sports journalism or sports media, my message to them would be, so much of what happens is the way you respond to it.
Kara is aware of sexual harassment as well as other negativities that she may endure in this field.
Yes, there have been a couple times where I've had an interview or something, and like a male athlete has kind of looked down to me, and I just wrote a column on like the whole Cam Newton thing, when he laughed at a female interview for asking him about something very knowledgeable, in depth with football, and I think that's happening more often, but nothing serious. However, I do know that it's becoming a bigger issue everywhere, and I'm definitely aware of it.
Despite what others may have said, Kara did what she loved.
When I was in high school, I would go to the games anyways, and one of my professors or teachers there came up to me and was like, why don't you, use like a hobby and kind of make it a talent? And so I was always good at writing and English, and so I started doing that, and I found that it was less of a job and more fun. I was like, I'll do this all day long. And then when I got here, I ended up getting a little bit of a scholarship to be in a journalism program in the state of Indiana, and the opportunities I've had here are endless.
In the past few months, several big-name celebrities have been accused of sexual harassment and assault, thus bringing this to the public eye. Multiple award-winning Hollywood film director Harvey Weinstein was accused of sexual harassment by numerous well-known actresses, including Ashley Judd, Angelina Jolie, and Gwyneth Paltrow. Almost 30 women have since come forward accusing Weinstein of misconduct since the 1970s. Mark Halperin, the NBC and MSNBC senior political analyst, was just fired from his network after 5 women accused him of sexually harassing them, and even forcibly kissing them and grabbing one woman's breasts, while at the network and during his former employment at ABC News. Kevin Spacey, the award-winning House of Cards actor, has been accused of making sexual advances on 26-year-old actor Anthony Rapp. Ball State senior telecommunications major Samantha Johnson was asked if she had ever been sexually assaulted or harassed in the workplace.
Not specifically at the station I was working in. I didn't witness anything like that. But, we've all heard the stories. The reporters I worked with specifically in Evansville were very young, so they were kind of fresh out of college too. And they were able to share stories of their peers and of their friends who have been in the workforce for maybe only 1 or 2 years who have experienced those things. So I was lucky enough to not experience them firsthand or at least witness them, but it definitely happens. There have been times here on campus where I, as a female reporter or as a female employee, have not been allowed in team meetings because it was all men and it was like a men atmosphere. But a team meeting, we weren't allowed to go because we were female when the male reporters were in there. So little things like that.
Samantha shares her advice to any other women who are looking to go into this field.
One thing that a reporter in my internship told me, she's a news reporter, but she told me originally she had ideas and dreams of being a sports reporter. And I kind of felt her emotions because that's kind of the place that I'm at. And she gave me great advice that I would tell anybody. She basically said, chase your dreams, don't chase the money, don't do what people tell you that you have to do. She basically said, if your dream is to do sports broadcasting, follow the dream and do it no matter what it takes. So she said, don't settle for news if that's not what you want to do. Don't settle for a lower position if you feel you deserve better.
Susie shares her last words of advice.
Make sure that you are good at what you do, right? Make sure that you do your homework. Because like it or not, because of your gender, you have to know twice as much, you have to be twice as good as any man, just because you have to overcome those standards or those feelings or those negative, stereotypes that are placed on women going into the industry. So as long as you can do that, you'll see less of it. The other thing would be is, no matter what happens, if you feel unsafe in any situation, always speak up. Always speak up. Do not let it slide. Because again, it's their problem. Somebody needs to set them straight. It is not your problem. But if you're feeling in danger or anything, then it becomes your problem. So you have to be very careful about that.